webinar now. Thank you, everyone.
Perfect. So there will still be some people coming into the session today over the time period. Absolutely fine. We are recording the session, so it will be made available to everyone afterwards. But first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a Friday morning, and jumping on a webinar means that we've taken some of your valuable time from your day, and it's great that you've been able to join us. I've got a couple of really interesting people here to talk about our subject today, and it's an interesting subject, and they're going to go from slightly two different angles. We have Vikas joining us from Charles Taylor, who's going to kind of talk at the Charles Taylor parts of this overarching question: are you ready for the insurance customer of the future? And we have Brian joining us from Oracle. So it's going to be an interesting session. We'll set it up. I'm just going to do a couple minutes myself. I will then pass to Brian. He'll pass on to Vikas, and after that we will have time available for Q&A. So if you do have any questions, if you'd like to put them into the chat area to either or all three of the speakers today, by all means put them in. Once we've gone through the presentations, we can address those questions. So thinking about the question, as I said, from today, just make sure you can see the screen. Yep.
Yeah, we can see it.
Excellent. So yeah, the question itself, I kind of looked at it when we were trying to come up with something that we thought would be engaging and interesting for the audience to consider. And to me, it had three areas that I wanted to kind of talk to, especially from the kind of Charles Taylor view and what I see in the market and the customers we talk to. The first part of it would be the readiness of your organization, your department, your team potentially. Readiness is about honesty, and it's about understanding where you are as an organization, and are you ready for a change to occur? Quite often we get ourselves into a silo, we get ourselves into mentality of working incredibly hard, but are we ready for the change that is inevitably going to happen? We saw massive changes obviously occurring with Brexit, with COVID, and now this awful conflict in Ukraine, causing things that need us to question, are we ready for some of these changes that we know are affecting us? The next thing I want to kind of talk to is customer. What's really interesting at Charles Taylor, we are a global organization. Just this week alone, I was chatting to a partner in Singapore and trying to look at some of the needs that they wanted addressing in that particular market set. Now, we're very well known in some parts of the world more than others, and it's really interesting to see our customer base changing from maybe what we've done in the past to the future, which is that more global focused and really stretching our arms around partners and clients across the world. So for us, our customer is changing as well, not only the process around it. And the last part's the future. So if you're ready and you know who your customer is and could be, what does your future hold? And are you setting up the right investment? Are you able to be flexible in your approach? Are your systems created in an open, extensible manner? If some of these questions come back with a no or you're not sure, there are certainly things that partners such as Charles Taylor and Oracle can speak to you about to help identify areas that we can help with and potentially drive that readiness with your customers in the future. So I'm going to hand over to Brian. He's going to go through a presentation, as I say, then Vikas. But please, if there are any questions or comments throughout the entire session this morning, log them in chat. We'll come back to those. And for now, I shall be quiet and pass over to Brian. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you very much. If you want to make me presenter, Ollie, that would be great. Perfect.
Should now be the presenter.
Perfect. So let me share my screen. Hopefully you can all see that.
Yes, we can see that.
Yeah. All right. So my name is Brian Hackett, and the question we're posing today is: are you ready for the insurance customer of the future? And they say the best way to predict the future is to invent it. And in response to the pandemic, as Ollie said, the future was invented because we had to, and customers adapted and accommodated to that dystopian world. And it proved the industry and customers can and will change. So are you ready for 2023, 2024, or even 2025? And what will those future customers expect? How will technology play its part in the customers of the future? And how will InsureTech positively impact your business KPIs? So these are the topics I would like to cover in my session today. And finally, I'll share with you how we're working with Charles Taylor to develop that. So let me move to the next slide. So let's look at the trends around customer expectations. And whether you're a Gen Z, a baby boomer, a millennial, whether your customer is in the B2C business or you're in the B2B business, customers simply want to hear it's taken care of. They want engaging customer experiences with no friction. They want to be kept informed, and they want to know what's happening next to their claim or their quote. They expect the business they're talking to know who they are, without having to explain the same issue repeatedly. And ideally, they're looking for an organisation that will reach out to them in their moment of need and spend as little time as possible chasing the vendor for the answer. So let's just think about this from a technology perspective. Customers really don't care if a process is digital or not, and perhaps won't even know. You know, we've seen the best RPA technology and chatbot technology, resolve problems at great speed. But not all customers will want to transact digitally for every transaction. You know, my dad might want to talk to somebody over a phone. My son might be very happy to use an app, and my wife might want to just use a chatbot. But the customer in the future will need the right balance of human and digital interaction. But the outcome's the same. They just want to be taken care of. And the industry research is backing this up. So let's look at that. So by 2025, Gartner's predicting most service interactions are going to be proactive and outnumber the reactive engagements by 2025. And I think the evidence is here already today. We've seen many organizations set up customer success functions whose mantra is to drive customer adoption around their product and service proactively. So the question is, what percentage of your customer interactions are predictive and proactive today? For some, maybe a big shift needs to happen. Others are already well down this path and journey. So tomorrow's customers will no longer need to take the initiative. Customers will expect personalized engagement at the right moment so they don't have to put in the effort. They'll also demand to know when something's happened to the status of their claim and communicate to them over their preferred channel. And what we're seeing is that insurance products are coming with telemetry that can provide the data for those predictive services. And I expect, with the rise of 5G and IoT, many more assets will be connected and tracked. And that will create more algorithmic customer experiences and lead to more agentless relationships. So that's the way I sort of see the world. But what's also happening in terms of the research is that brands that are offering more personalized experiences are seeing a 16% commercial benefit, either in revenues or margins. And that's the business case for doing this. That's the business case for driving unique service experiences. And technology and data are enabling that. So we should think of the future customer as a unique customer, a market of one. Their context is unique, and the product you may be offering potentially will be unique, maybe a micro insurance offering. And using real-time customer intelligence, agents will be able to personalize that engagement and offers to their customer. I'm already seeing the use of AI in terms of agents using recommendation engines to drive those unique experiences. We're already seeing connected devices and wearables to provide deep insights around a customer's physical condition, like their blood pressure, their temperature, their pulse. And I think over time, buildings and physical assets will have more and more sensors that will give the equivalent heart rate data for you to make underwriting judgments, for example. And nowadays, insurers have the opportunity to explore clients' lifestyle patterns and preferences from social media and capture and analyze the customer's preferences to enable them to make customized offerings. So that's what's happening. And the industry is also changing very rapidly. And what we're seeing, I think, is that McKinsey is suggesting that by 2025, AI will be 25% of the industry, or represent 25% of the processes of the industry. And the question is, do you digitize the process first or the product first? And the recommendation seems to be digitize the product will give you the alerts and the notifications that you'll need to drive customer digital processes. And in my role, talking to lots of different independent software vendors who are adding AI and ML capability, the first thing they often look at is anomaly detection. And that lends itself very well to the insurance industry. So fraud prediction and detection using text and image analysis, for example, is a very good use of AL and AI. And as Ollie said, how do you get ready? And to get ready, many people are using process mining software to do that. So capturing the audit trails of a workflow management system, the transaction logs of a claims management system will enable you to describe the processes of your organization. And this process discovery and mining techniques can be used to generate machine learning and AI models. So for example, to predict the remaining processing time of a case or to identify the root cause of a compliance problem, just by using process mining techniques. So what are the business metrics that are going to be impacted by digitization? So you can see revenue per policyholder, average cost per claim. Well, where do you get the biggest bang for buck? Where should you get started? And how do you get ready for the future customer? And it's all about choosing the right places to target. So picking areas with high levels of handovers or handoffs or rework or complaints are likely to give the biggest return. And that will lead to the biggest bang for buck. So the value produced by digitization is going to be a combination of predictive outreach, unique services, and automation that will affect your best KPIs in terms of claims process per employee, claims error rates, etc. And at Oracle, we've been digitizing our own application with our own customers. We have 50,000 application customers around the world with 90 million daily users. And we've researched the impact of AI and ML on those customers. And those customers are using industry applications in financial services, in telco and healthcare and retail, as well as supply chain management and ERP. So lots of different types of applications. And what we've found when we've done our own research, when we've implemented AI and ML, is that net promoter scores can increase by 10 to 30 points. Repeat calls can go down by about 20%, and complaints can drop by up to 50%. But here's a word of warning. Automation can be amazingly effective at routine tasks, but it's often incapable of dealing with a long tail of idiosyncratic requests that require human intervention. So avoid edge use cases for automation. I think the driverless car is a very good example of this. It may be safer than humans in many situations, but it cannot account for that human behavior, that little gesture you might make to another driver at a junction saying, you go first. So getting ready for the future customer will still be a mix of people, process, and technology. So finally, I want to talk about how we're working with Charles Taylor to deliver this. So Charles Taylor and InsureTech has been a partner since its foundation in 2016. And together with Charles Taylor, we've delivered a data-driven policy administration system called INSYS. And over the last 4 years, we've been tuning and scaling and securing INSYS on Oracle Cloud. And we've been jointly developing a reporting and analytics capabilities called InSure to make that solution even better. So let me wrap up. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. I think Charles Taylor is building it to get your customers ready for it. So thank you. So let me now hand over to Vikant, who will take you through this in more detail. I'm going to over to you, Vikant.
Thank you very much, Brian. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen, Vikas.
Okay,
Good,
thank you
yeah.
very much. Thanks. So first of all, good morning to everyone who has taken out the valuable time to join this webinar. And thanks, Brian and Ollie, for all the you have set the scene about readiness, about the future, about our customers. So I am now going to talk about how within Charles Taylor InsureTech, how we see the landscape of our customers, what are the solutions they have right now, what solutions they should utilize or adopt to move forward in the future space. From as far as my introduction, I'm Vikas Sharma, and I'm heading the whole of Oracle and InsureTech technology practice within CT. So not a big one. Let me move now into the next slide. Okay, so carrying forward the theme of readiness and future. Within Charles Taylor, this is our lens, how we see the landscape of a insurance company or a broker or any organization who is working within the insurance space. So to work within insurance space, the key or the heart of the insurance area of work is mainly on the insurance administration, which comprises of policies, policy administration, claims management, broker management. There may be something more, but I have picked up the core ones. To deal with, to carry on with the business of insurance administration, there will be in some shape or form, ERPs are required. The ERPs, main ERPs are the finance one, where I've included actuarial also in that space, CRM and HCM. So you need your information about your customers, you need about your information about your employees, and most important definitely is the finance one, where how you want to the revenues will be generated, money will come into the organization, and as well as you need to have pay for any kinds of claims. So those are the key functions from finance point of view. Then with all this data, the data which is within the organization, organization will require some sort of data management and reporting analytics part. So there may be in this layer a lot of requirement is on the ETL type of stuff, data migration, where moving data from old systems to new system, data warehousing kind of stuff. Reporting side, you need to generate regulatory reports, MI reports, taxation reports, so on and so forth. And the last one is again ties up with the theme is the fraud analytics and AI. So this is AI and AML, or the fraud analytics, or any type of predictive analysis that has to be done on the data. So you need data for all this exercise for the future part. Then the next layer on this whole landscape is the user experience, which Brian touched upon. The user experience part is very, very key. So in some shape or form, all the companies have a customer portal. They will have agents, broker portal, operational portal, like those type of stuff. And the business management part. So business process management and document management to generate all the policy letters and different types of letters, different type of documents, so workflow management. These are the areas of the functions which is required. The next piece is all these systems, whether it is one system, multiple system, layered structure, whatever be the architecture, they have to be hosted in some, whether it is on-prem or in the cloud part, then there will be some kind of support services are required. So I put that all into managed service area. and other applications. So there will be other applications, legacy applications, third-party applications. If to run your business, you are dependent on those areas. So these are the applications which are required in any organization to complete their business. And everything, I mean, integration is the key. So all these type of different business applications have to be integrated. So this is the whole structure or the whole landscape that we, from our point of view, we see. It may not be 100% accurate with any organization, but it covers majority of the business functions or the business. Then you can translate that business functions into business applications. That's where and this there is a possibility that many of the business functions or applications can be single or in one. So you may have a legacy application, maybe mainframe application, which might be doing the functionality of finance. It may be doing CRM as well. So one same mainframe type of application might be doing all that same. So, but I've tried to break down into the landscape. So that this is the landscape, and how from here we can move into future. So where exactly we from Charles Taylor can help, how we see in the future for the readiness part, and then move into the future side. So this is the landscape view from our perspective. From within Charles Taylor InsureTech, we have solutions for pretty much every bit of this diagram or this slide deck. All the applications we have in some shape or form, we have solutions in all of these areas. But today I'm going to talk more predominantly on the two main areas. One is which I call always is the heart of insurance business, is the policy administration and the claims management. That is one area which is the key part. So this is where our solution of InSys sits here. So this is our policy administration system. I'll go a bit more in detail about this system, which we have. It has been built by our partner company Fadata. So this is the system which I'm going to talk more on this part. And the second area is the data part. So data is the key part. With data we can do many things. We can do all the analysis and how data is going to help us in future. So for this we have built a solution whose name is Insure. So that is the area of data management layer of our solution, Insure. I'm going to talk more about that. So let me start with InSys. InSys is a leading policy management solution. So this is a solution, as I said, it has been built by our partner company. What is the key part of this solution? The key to me is this solution can be implemented, and this solution can work for any line of business. So you will see in the market there are many policy admin systems which are targeted towards a specific insurance line of business, be it life insurance or health insurance or general insurance. This system can be implemented for any line of business. That is the main strength of this system. We have implemented for our customers in life insurance space. We have implemented for general insurance space, for motor insurance, for health insurance. So we have implemented the same solution for different customers working in different lines of business. It's a very, very configurable system. So this is the key part here, that which ties up with the theme today of future. So in future, what we want or insurance companies, everybody wants to roll out their solution or products faster to the market. So time is the key. So if you have created if you are an insurance company and you want to roll out a new insurance product in any of insurance business space. So for example, motor insurance. In motor insurance, you want to roll out a new motor insurance product, car insurance product. So it should be very easy for the organization to configure it, configure all the rules and roll out. So that's the power of this product. That once the foundation is done, once the setup is done, then after that any rollout becomes very fast. So that's the key. So to achieve this this type of capability within our solution, it has different configuration type of let's say capabilities, and those capabilities are product definition, workflow definition, configurable UI, and rules. So with all these, with the combination of these 4 capabilities within the product, you can configure and roll out your product quite faster. And this can be done by business analyst. You don't need much of technical expertise in this area. Then moving forward on this part, so this is where I'm slightly going into the technical side. I'll not touch more on the technology part. I think most of the audience members are not that. There will be a mix of techies and non-techies, so I'll keep it to that level. This we have used Oracle Cloud for our offering. So this product, when we are offering as a managed service solution within Charles Taylor, we host it on Oracle Cloud. When we have used all the top-end products within Oracle Cloud offerings to deploy this application, and then we make it more and more secure with all the security capabilities of Oracle Cloud, and then we do all the integrations with other systems. So if you see here in this space on the right-hand side, I have this will give you the view of some of the solution or some of those business solutions which I was talking about in the landscape slide. So data warehouse, CRM, finance system, document management system, portal. So every big insurance company or a broker company, they will have in some shape or form this type of applications, and this all applications can be connected with InSys over the cloud where we host it. So that will give you a slight idea about how we are. It's placed in the technology side. The reason I have put this slide is to give you the context that how this technology helps us to move in the future part. So it's again with the same theme of our webinar. So from the benefit side, how we are equipped for the future part. So with this type of architecture, the benefit is innovate and connect. So here we can do more innovation, and we can connect. So as Brian was saying, that there are various categories of people who would some would like to talk in phone, some would like to talk in with chatbot. So this with this architecture, we can basically connect to any of the applications. So for this allows us to make connections to the industry leading type of other applications, be it Salesforce or SAP or Workday or any other within InsureTech itself. We have different other solutions, so we make those connections with the same integration layer which we have put over top of InSys. One thing I would like to add here is recently we launched our offering of InHub. So InHub is our one suite where all the under that InHub we have different insurance solutions, and InSys is connected to InHub with the same architecture. Moving into the next slide, this is the one where with the same architecture, InSys can be connected to chatbot or voice or the likes of Alexa or Google Home. So there is a need within the insurance space where customers would like to say, for example, they would like to speak to a chatbot or on the voice devices like Alexa or Google Home. to log a claim. So if somebody unfortunately met with a car accident, you want to you will call the call center, or you would like to just use a chatbot or voiceover recording to create a claim. This type of architecture, basically, this allows us to expand and make a connection to this type of devices and do this integration. So this is again readiness, and going forward in the future, how we can seamlessly give this value add to our customers. Other benefits to continue on the benefit side is the faster time to market. So this theme I've touched earlier as well. So this faster time to market is at two levels. One is on the cloud side as well. So by the usage of Oracle Cloud, we deploy these services very quite fast on the WebLogic services, WebLogic server PaaS services, as well as database PaaS services of Oracle. So at the infrastructure level, we can create the infrastructure very quickly and deploy instances on top of that. And then on the functional side, with all those functional capabilities, which is part of the Insys product, we can roll out the insurance product very faster to the market. So it works in both the ways, and how we address the speed element of delivering the solution. Then the second part is, with this architecture, again, it's the cost effectiveness part, where from the insurance companies, they would like to control the cost, and we can scale up the infrastructure. When the business grows, we can scale down it. So there are scenarios when there is month-end processing, there is quarter-end processing. In those processing time, we know we need more power in the infrastructure, so we can scale up, can scale down. Then during development phase, we don't need development environments or non-production environments to be up for 24/7. We can limit them. And for the last point is pay by hour for the innovative exercise. So if any kind of innovation has to be done for any type of digital assistant or any other innovation, we can spin up some temporary environment, do it, and do the R&D work, and then shut down it. So this helps to control the cost as well. So that's that's more or less. I mean, many of you would have already listened to this in various cloud webinars. So on the Insys side, I'll wrap up the Insys part quickly. So Insys, this is the last slide. We offer the Insys as managed service, and as I said, it has been built by our partner company Fadata. It is powered by Oracle Cloud, and the whole of this managed service architecture, this we have done within InsureTech, Charles Taylor InsureTech. Okay, so now I'll jump into the Insure side. Nilo, have we got any questions in between? So I can answer them. If,
Hi, Vikas. Yes, we do. I've just passed it to Ollie. So
Yeah,
Ollie,
so yeah, we'll have this a question as a element to pause, and I think it'll be for both guys. But let's start with you, Vikas. So the question, very interestingly, is how do we balance harnessing digital information with privacy and intrusion issues? Now, this is an area that trust is going to be very important when we start to look at. The more we take from our potential customers, the more we can potentially give them back in better rating or better understanding or faster processing. But there's a flip side to that, are you collecting the data for the right reasons? And there is certainly a trust element about that. So how would you see a potential balance between privacy and intrusion of trying to get that data into the system?
Yeah, that is indeed a very good question, and this is at the, I'll say, at the heart of our solutions across our CT solutions. So we deal with this data intrusion, data privacy for especially basically the core part is making data safe. So that's the core theme, is that we have to make data safe. We are collecting a lot of data from, and we are responsible when we are hosting in the managed service side, our client system. Eventually, there is a lot of personal data also which comes into the system. So the controls are very, very essential. There are, so I'll address it like that. The solution is at the technology level, at the architecture level, and at the process level. So I'll divide them into the three categories. So first is on the technology side. On the technology side, Oracle Cloud or our solutions on the other cloud side as well. On the technology side, cloud providers, they provide a lot of technology to safeguard data. So cloud has many. Oracle Cloud provides their products like Oracle Cloud Guard. There is vulnerability scanning. There are a couple of products are there where we at a whole Oracle Cloud tenancy level, we implement them to protect the whole of the tenancy. So that is the on the technology side, how we protect from using all those capabilities. And if we have to use it, some other market leading security products, we are utilizing them as well. The second part is on the architecture side as well. So the architecture itself should be secure. So our architecture by design, security is there. So we implement, we build our servers in private subnets. So we start from the networking level, we implement the security part in the networking. We give access between databases and between application servers only to talk between them. We don't provide access to external public internet sites, and we control from the architecture side. So that's the architecture and design bit. And the third one is the process part. So on the process side, the GDPR process, we have our data protection team who analyzes the whole process. Why we are collecting the data, we have to provide those explanation to them. That's at the process level. And I will add slightly one more piece of from a post-production support scenario, when the data is sitting in the databases, who are allowed to access data and who are not allowed to. It's primarily our objective and with our solutions, we try to not to give access to the core data to any of our support people as well. It's mainly the data is to access is to the client itself, and the client accesses through the application. And if we have to do any type of fixes, we move from production environment. If we take a copy, then we run all the anonymization scripts to anonymize the personal data. So that's how we control the whole data security part in this way.
Excellent. And if I were to add a kind of sub point to then kind of point at Brian, one of the things you said was about the further emergence of more IoT data coming in into organizations, and that certainly raises that privacy question again, because I know anecdotally my father, who's been driving for 40 years, has said they're never putting a box in my car to judge the way I drive, which would probably help him these days. But from that kind of balance that this question sits around between getting that data and getting the value from it, but then also the that privacy and that kind of trust with some of these technologies like IoT that are bringing that information, what's your kind of view on that?
Well, actually, yeah, you mentioned telematics there, and certainly my son had one of those black boxes in his car, and he got a very bad score every month. And so personally, what I did with him was I said, well, if your insurance is going up, I'll pass on the cost to you. So I used it as a way to motivate him to slow down. But I think, just coming back seriously to the IoT thing, I guess as more assets get connected, you'll be able to deliver more unique, I guess, underwritten premiums based on, the, user behavior or building behavior, let's say. So let's say a fire alarm is going off, or a fire test is being done, as it should be, let's say every 6 months. If that's recorded, there's kind of a motivation, if you like, to share the information, because it may be reflected in their premiums on renewal, for example. So I think I think it's all, for me, it's partly about security, but it's also partly about motivation. Why would somebody be willing to share that information? Does it give them something that they wouldn't necessarily get if they didn't share it? Would it allow for certain assets to be insured at a lower cost because they can show that they're taking measures to lower the risk for the insurer? So I think it's a combination for me of security, that you can demonstrate that the data is protected and it's only being used for the purpose that it's being collected, but it's also about the motivation as well. So that would be my take on it.
Excellent. No, thank you. Vikas, let's carry on. We'll see if there's any other questions, and yeah, let's carry on and hear a little bit more about Insure.
Perfect. Yep. Thank you much. Thanks, Brian, and thanks, Ollie. So let me go into our second offering on the data side. Not on the actually data side is the only offering. The second offering from the landscape which I discussed earlier. So the second offering is the Insure Plus. So when we say Insure Plus, this is where our solutions for the whole of data management. So we have developed this solution with using underneath we are using all the top-end products from Oracle Cloud to build up this solution. So this solution provides reports, insurance operation reports, as well as we are modeling this solution to provide data migration capabilities as well, and so that ETL type of capabilities. And yeah, that's the core part of this Insure Plus. So if I move into this slide, what Insure Plus gives. Insure Plus, the main thrust of Insure Plus is that the business they should have a 360-degree view of business. So it provides 360-degree view of the business. So it's the innovation with database processes. So here this solution can take data from any system. So it is capable of absorbing data from any databases or even any kind of file system. So it can take data from anywhere and then model it, process it, and it gives a processed data to provide 360-degree view. So that's the core philosophy on which this our solution works. The data ingestion happens near real time. So in this whole of Insure Plus, they said that we are using top-end products from Oracle Cloud. The one which is very the top of the ladder is the Golden Gate. So Golden Gate has been in the market from many years, and but the benefit that we got from Golden Gate on OCI on the Oracle Cloud infrastructure is that we are now on the cloud side we can utilize this product for building up our solution, and this product gives us is the power or capability to ingest data from any databases in near real time. It's our end solution is very flexible. It can be connected with most popular BI tools. So when we have this whole solution with all the different BI tools, it can be connected. Internally, we are using Oracle Analytics Cloud, but if it can be connected with Power BI or any other tool to build up the dashboards which are required by many of the companies. It's a cloud-based solution, and we are making it more into self-service reporting tool. So that's the whole idea of Insure Plus. You can take data in this slide deck. If you can see that I have put Insys and the other major ERPs like CRM, finance, or legacy. If we have to collect that data, policy data from Insys, policy admin data from Insys, even claims management data from Insys side, all the CRM data, finance data, legacy data, move them into the integration layer and do the modeling. And after that modeling, the operational reports can be generated. How many policies you have sold in that month, or all those are the common ones. But from here, it gives the power to connect with any of the AI machine learning applications as well. So within CT, we have a offering on that side as well. We have a product called Fraud Keeper, where we integrate with Fraud Keeper and this Insure Plus, and with that we can harness the power of machine learning and AI to find out fraud detection on the claim side. So this enables us to move into the future side. Next slide gives a bit more on the the technology side, how it is. So it's a pictorial diagram which represent from this on the left hand side is InSys, or this can be any other application. So any other application from those applications, we pull the data into the landing zone which we have created, and we use Oracle Golden Gate here to have that raw data. In bottom, you can see all other external data sources. This can be files or any other databases, whether it's SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, or any databases. From there, we move into the modeling layer and then do all the reporting from here. So at this part, we again expose services through Oracle Integration Cloud layer, and this enables us to integrate with any other system. So for example, if there is a portal, and from a portal you have exposed that portal for the customers to buy a policy. So the policy can be bought from when the portal will interact with InSys to generate the policy, and the portal will interact through the same integration layer with Insure to generate the policy letter. So that's how it will be seen. It will be integrated underneath both these solutions. Will provide this type of capabilities, and the business will run. So that is just one example how the integration can be done. And with this same approach, we can integrate this with any other reporting tools to generate MI reports, taxation reports, regulatory reports, all those reporting part. Then we can integrate with, as I mentioned earlier, with MI or AI type of AI and machine learning type of applications to generate to again find out how is there any to harness that data. And fraud detection is a very common use case these days. This is the pyramid structure of all the data engineering part. So we with our solution, we think that we have covered pretty much every area where the network part we have the same. On the security side, which we just discussed about, we implement the security layer from the infrastructure level itself, and then we move more into the data infrastructure side of the ETL part, cleanup, data migration, data quality. All these piece of work is again supported by our offering, and we move into the data modeling side, where when we have that clean data, we have the data which can be processed very easily. It can be plugged with any type of analytics tool. And the last one is the unstructured part, where machine learning comes into picture. So we with whole of this our solution, we cover all this different layers of a pyramid structure. What are the benefits? It's the benefits of this solution is basically it's data-driven decision making. This is the key part. This can improve operational processes of a company. So we think that with this whole piece, the operational processes can be improved. With our solution, there is a lower dependency on the tech team, or you don't need much of tech capabilities. Business analysts or people who knows more about business, they can utilize their modeling tool to connect and generate reports. And it's quite agile and fast integration. Integration piece I mentioned about the layer which we have put up there. We have built some services over there to generate policy letters, all those type of common functions that is part of our solution. And connectivity part, it can be connected to any tool which the customer may be using at the moment. And there is a growth potential for connecting any other business intelligence. That's a repeat actually. So we have made it more and more flexible to give capability to the clients to meet the future challenges. Last, on the technology side, we offer this as a managed service. The whole of solution has been built and architected by our team within Charles Taylor InsureTech, and it is powered by Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So CI, all the different OCI offerings are there, like Golden Gate, Oracle Analytics Cloud, Oracle Integration Cloud. We use a lot of Oracle Cloud components. I think that's it from my side. So if you need to contact me, here's my email ID. Please do send questions, and I can answer. That's it. So let's see, Ollie, if we have got some more questions. We have 9 minutes left, and we can answer.
Yeah, we've got a few minutes left. So we'll just see if there's any questions from the audience. While they're thinking, I can pose one to Brian. You mentioned part of your presentation said that 25% of the industry will potentially be using AI, or at least the process, by 2025. That's only around the corner. Do you think that's going to vary quite a bit between the different lines and classes of business? Are there going to be some areas that will have more AI in them than others?
Yeah. I mean, so in the research, so that was McKinsey research. One comment I'll make is we see the geographical split as well. So some countries are further ahead on, or more accepting, should we say, of the use of AI and machine learning within their processes or businesses than other countries. So when we've done our own research, we've seen quite marked geographical split. So, the Far East is certainly way ahead, I would say, of some parts of Europe, for example. So that's the first thing. I think for me, the customer-facing piece is probably the most obvious place to use it. The kind of self-service type things. That's it. But also, as I've mentioned, anomaly detection is what it's very good at. But I think, come back to your question, it all comes down to machine learning models. So the more data that can be harnessed, more models that can be built, that's going to lead to more usage. So I think over time it will kind of get into other areas of the business. As you understand, the first thing you need to do is understand the business process end to end before you can write the learning model. If you don't understand the business process end to end, it's very hard for the data scientists within the organization to write the model to come to the right conclusions, because if it's based on, it's garbage in, garbage out. So if it's based on the wrong data or processes, then it's going to produce probably bad answers. So, but it'll improve over time, and I think that's the thing with this. You've got to give the technology a chance to work. So I think one of the things I've seen in many of these AI and ML POCs is it kind of sometimes gets dismissed. Oh, that just is too clunky, it doesn't work. Well, machine learning by its very nature, you have to give it a chance to go through mountains of data and simulations before it can improve. So I think that's what I would say. Maybe we also need to try different approaches and see what gives the best results. And as I said, I think not everything lends itself to automation. There is still some areas that I think, that kind of edge use case, those outliers, if you like. I think anything with the free textbooks for me, I've been on those chatbots, and it can be very annoying when you're not understood, because you're saying something that they haven't come across before. So try to keep, the 80-20 rule, I think, applies to this as well. I think that's what I'd say.
And if I were to kind of take that a bit further, so obviously that's the UX and CX, customer and user experience. Vikas, you mentioned about the kind of connectivity side, and I think from the customer, whether I be a personal lines customer or commercial customer, if I'm entering data into a system, I I want it to be used as many times as possible, I suppose. And I think that's what you were touching on, that kind of connectivity part. The data's gone in once and I want to be using it. So that is that where you can see some of the benefit to the customer coming back, because if the systems are connected together, it's a more cohesive process for them.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the whole theme, and you can say the principle that we have been working on to develop our products and offerings, that we should utilize as much and harness that data. So if the data is in the policy admin system, why not move that same data and harness it with the power of Insure and generate some useful information for the customer, so that they can. So InSys being like a policy admin system, it does claims management as well. So it's a claims management system as well. So if InSys will manage that part, but from InSys, when we take that data into the same data into Insure, and then we apply all those reporting analytics type of capabilities on top of the data, then we can try to find out whether is it, for example, on the fraud side, are there any loopholes? Are there some areas where the fraud can be done? So the same data utilized there, and that's how this whole the integration layer provides this capability to harness data and make the useful information out of that.
Excellent. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so what I'd like to do is extend my thanks to Vikas and Brian for sharing some of their thoughts and ideas with us today. I'd like to thank everybody who's joined us on the webinar this morning. It is recorded, so you can watch it back again as many times as you like. If there are some themes and concepts that have been spoken about today, as both Vikas and Brian said, please, happy to for you to reach out to us. There's a lot of things we're doing with a great number of clients that keep giving us more and more experiences that we can help share and shape future prospects as well. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us today, and that's the end of our webinar for this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ollie. Thank you very much, Brian. Thanks everyone who has joined. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.